of Senco Gold with us. And we also have the management of Muthoot Finance with us. Mr. Suvankar Sen is CEO at Senco, and Mr. George Alexander Muthoot is, of course, head of Muthoot. Mr. Sen, gentlemen, good afternoon. Good to have both of you here. Thanks very much, Prashant, this side. Mr. Sen, if I can come to you first. So we have a jeweler and we have a gold finance company. The effective tax on gold drops from, including GST, drops from some 18% to about 9% now. Does this spur jewelry sales in a big way, Mr. Sen?
Yes, it would spur jewelry sales in a big way. If we really look at it, the way gold prices have moved up in the last 1 year or so, it was creating a stress and a constraint in the pockets of consumers, especially the upper middle class, to come and buy jewelry. This relief that the government has given to the upper middle class would really enable them to buy jewelry, and we're all very positive about it, that the sales would go up.
Mr. Sen, two quick questions then. One, in your mind, how much do the gold prices come down by? Do you have a number, an estimate in mind? And two, are you sitting on any sort of inventory which could offset this benefit?
So if you really look at it, 9% on a base of about 60,000, which is the international price, which 62,000 makes it to about 70 to 73,000. So the benefit that the consumers would get is around 590 rupees per gram, or 5,90,000 rupees per kilo. So that would be the extended benefit that they would get. Yes, over a period of time, gradually that benefit would pass on to the consumers. Maybe initially the benefit would be of 300 per gram, 350 per gram, and gradually move on to 550, 600 per gram kind of a benefit. That is number one. And in terms of the hit on the inventory valuations, any organized players would ensure that their inventory is hedged. So they would be hedging either on the MCX, or they would be hedging by taking gold loan from the banks. There would be some inventory which is prepaid. The duty would be already prepaid to the banks, and which could range between anything between 20-30% for a company to up to 60-70% based on how much of hedging is done by the company. So I think that those which are hedged on the MCX, there is a straight benefit, or I would say risk protection. And to that extent that it is bought from the banks directly, there would be some minimal impact. But the positive way to look at it is that the demand that would really rise up with the festive season coming in. We are towards the end of July. We have August, where Rakhi is coming in, and then September, October is the Dhanteras Diwali season. I think that consumers would be much more positive towards buying jewelry as a category, and the wedding season looks to be wonderful.
Okay, all right. So the street believed it's positive for Senco, and you're saying that yes, they're reading it correctly. But let's focus on the other stock, Muthoot Finance and other finances. They're under pressure. We have Mr. Muthoot who joins us on the show. Hi, Mr. Muthoot. Good afternoon, and thanks a lot for joining in. Well, the stock is under pressure. The street believes prices of gold will come down, which in fact could impact your growth as well as your book. Give us your first reaction.
Yeah, thank you, Prashant. But as I usually say, gold price is not the determinant for the gold loans. See, gold loan is somebody's need for money. And from the budget, I see that there is a lot of uptick in the MSME sector, a lot of business going in the MSME sector, the lot of credit requires for the construction sector, and also for the affordable housing. I think that should perk up the demand. Now, to talk on the prices, yes, when the tax goes down, the price of gold generally should come down a bit. But I'm sure in a week's time, 2 weeks' time, it will stabilize, and it's just a blip in the market. So that is the gold price. But of course, we are not very much concerned with the gold price, though, because the gold price is still very high, and people requirement for funds is better. So, but as the previous speaker was saying, there will be demand for gold will rise. People buy more jewelry, and finally, at some point of time, when they need money, they will bring the jewelry to the gold loan financiers for funding. So no, I don't think there is any huge impact. It's just a market sentiment which is happening. So it will be business as usual, probably in a week's time.
No, perhaps, sir. But I think at a time when gold prices have been soaring, going through the roof, this relief on duty perhaps just lets you buy that little much more, right? On that, let me just go back to Mr. Sen as well. Mr. Sen, you did mention, a rough sort of impact in terms of, the grammage. Any sense on what the immediate impact on sales could be? Because this has happened before we, get into the festive season. So the timing in that sense is going to be good. It will all be sort of, once the budget is approved, it will all be put into motion. So your sense on the impact, let's say in Q3, which is when the peak season sets in?
So I think that, this 9% reduction in value will automatically enable a 10 to 12% increase in business beyond what we were expecting. Consumers would be like, anyway, thinking, procrastinating, postponing their purchase decisions. But the moment this has come in and the uncertainties continue to remain, the US elections are in place, the war across the world is still there. And, so those external pressures will always push the gold price upwards. So consumers should jump into the opportunity, those who have weddings towards the end of the year. And I believe that 10-12% increase in business immediately in a, I would say in a windfall manner or an unexpected outcome of this whole budget would be there. And if you look at the long-term part of it, we shouldn't miss out, as even Sir was saying from Muthoot, that if you look at the agricultural sector, if you look at the way government is trying to support the women empowerment schemes, I think consumption overall would increase with infrastructure expenditures.
Right, Mr. Sen, if I can pin you down on numbers, you'd said 10-12% same-store sales growth, 20% top-line growth for the next 2 years. Will those numbers change?
See, those numbers would continue to remain. I wouldn't really,
but you will have more confidence on those numbers.
But the short-term impact, say if we talk of July, August, September, I'm sure that there will be a short-term impact on the upside.
And you said about 9 to 10% perhaps increase in sales because of this relief that's come in. Gentlemen, thank you very much. It's a quick analysis and a very helpful one. Obviously, stocks are very excited. The market is excited when it comes to the jewelry segment today. Well, let's bring back Sameer Arora into the conversation.